Hey Harmonizers, welcome to this Mustang update. It's got a lot of really amazing firsts for Elfie. This is Elfie walking along with my 5-year-old daughter. Elfie is now turning 6 years old this year. That's my little 5-year-old daughter, also turning 6 this year, and they are best buddies. So Evelyn is now officially Elfie's owner, but this is one of our coaches, taking him for a jumping course. So even though he does a lot of beginner stuff and doing really slow stuff, he still gets to have some exercise, doing some more of the high level things. Not doing too high. He is just turning 6 this year, and we progress our jumping pretty slow and steady. I want the horses to be really confident rather than just hiking the jumps up. I want them to know they're striding and things like that. Like there you can see he did a little cross canter, but then he figures out his legs, gets everything organized in time. And I love how he's doing these courses here. Like this is about 2 feet to 2'3", and he's doing really well. This one, he gives it a little bit of a pole knock. And so when they do stuff like that, one of the things I really want to point out is we don't punish the horse because we don't want to add emotion to the situation. So if you smack a horse for knocking the jump, then what can happen is they become anxious, and that's when they start to rush the jumps, like they do them too fast, or they become even started to be like dirty stoppers, meaning they're like, no, don't want to do it, and they quickly like stop and turn on the brakes. So instead what we do is we just go back and retake the fence. And this is one of the biggest things for me, why we do a lot of schooling before we go into competition, where you only get 2 refusals and you're out, or if you knock a jump you can't go back and do it again. So I like to be able to take them back like he did there. He got it clear, and then we finish with a cookie and finishing up, and then that's it. So he learns like, oh, if I really put in effort and leave my feet up in the air and leave those rails, the rails planted, then all is well, and we just continue on, and that's what they're looking for. And then this is little Evelyn doing the horse show at our place. So this is her first time ever doing a walk trot class with a bunch of other people in the ring, which we still separate into 2 heats, meaning there's 2 different groups. There's not too many people in the ring at the same time. But you can see there's a variety of horses in there, and you have to listen to the judge for, is it walk, trot, change direction, all of those pieces. So I was pretty proud of her that she was able to get her trot, her post, all of the things that the judge asked them to do. And she remembered to ride around the flowers too. That was pretty awesome. And they go in both directions, and they do both what it's called equitation and hack. So equitation is where they're primarily focusing on the rider, and then hack is when they're primarily focusing on the horse, or at least the rider's ability to make the horse look really easy. And look at Alfie and what a little caretaker he looks like. So with the coach, he was flying around doing 2 feet, 2'3", and now he's doing a poles course with little Evelyn. And as a proud mama moment, it was like, this was really big because this was her first time going into a ring without me calling out the jumps to help her which pole to go over next. She remembered the whole course. I remember she's just 5 years old, turning 6 this year. So she remembered where to go. And then check out these beautiful lines. She's actually pretty straight going from corner to corner. She remembers to go around the flowers. At our first schooling shows of the year, we like to put the flowers out in the corners to help them know that they need to go into the corners. And then as we get more into our classes, we start to take away the flowers in the corners, so that way it's a little bit more based on them knowing to steer to go into their corners. But because it's a schooling show, the idea is that we are helping people learn and helping people progress. So she's riding around there getting her courses all done. And I'm not really sure, who should I be more proud of here? Should I be more proud of Alfie, the Mustang that was literally still feral 2 years ago? He was still in the holding pens, feral, out of the wild, and I hadn't yet tamed him. And now he's taken my little 5-year-old around. And so he's 5 turning 6 this year, and she's 5 turning 6 this year. So I kind of love that they're the same age and they're progressing through different skills together. And she does the course really, really well. They ended up winning their poles class, which is pretty awesome. And she legit did ride it really well and remembered to do her little 2-point, which is pretty awesome. And he just plods along the whole time, looking like a little superstar, taking care of my little Evie. Now this is her other course. I have to share this one because it's a little bit funny. So she remembered the first course, and then it's always a tougher deal when you need to remember a second course. But you're going to see Alfie's really good nature come through here. A couple other things to point out. One is that he's riding bitless for her, which we do tend to put most of our horses bitless, mostly because we don't want little beginners or little kids pulling on their faces. And the mouth is a sensitive area. So really when the bit's in the horse's mouth, ideally the rider has very knowledgeable hands and is knowing what to do with them, and that the horse is okay with that. And then here's one of the, like, you got to go to the green pole. So she took a rather interesting turn to come to that pole there, and then misses these flowers, although it's not an awful turn. She does get the second flowers okay, as she's going to come around to her last set of poles. So it's actually not as wonky as I thought maybe it was when the moment was happening, but I did have to shout out to her and be like, green pole, okay, now you're brown pole, to remind her where she was heading to. And one of the other little things I'll point out is she is using a crop. So a crop is like the little stick that she's holding in her hand so she can tap, primarily to make a noise, because she doesn't really reach his side, but that's the cue for him to go forward. Because if you look at her legs, can you see how her little legs don't actually pass the saddle pad? So he doesn't actually feel her leg really on him, so the crop helps her to make that noise. And this is her with her ribbons. She's got a red, a blue, a champion. And to add some more cuteness to the video, this is my little 3-year-old doing her show with Dare Bear. Check out this 2-point. Let me know if you'd be more proud of the horses or of my kiddos being so young and doing so well. Thanks for watching. Remember to subscribe and check out harmonyhorsemanship.com for even more learning.